Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and it's Tutorial Tuesday tutorial, and we're going to be doing the KLJUYP box in a card, which kind of looks like a chimney pot sitting within an aperture of a house roof. But first, following on from last week, I just wanted to share my resin creations from the weekend. And you saw me do this piece last week, and I'd actually run out of resin, so that's where it stopped. But I did go out and I got some more, so if I do that, it kind of like usually throws the light off. That is a cute little Zika deer from Aliexpress, the mold is. So I will link these molds below because they're seriously cute. You can just drill a hole in the top of his head and put a hanger in, and you've got an ornament. Or if you just want to mold the head section, you've got a great keychain. So I'm noticing that by doing things like that, I cast shadows in different areas. But that is a really cute Zika deer. Right, what else did I do? I did that box in white, which I absolutely love. I really love this. I'm going to be doing others, as I said, in that sort of Pepto-Bismol pink and jade green in solid colours, because you can add alcohol ink to this white casting resin. So I really do like that. It's a great solid piece and it casts really beautifully. So if you're somebody that likes to do stuff like this, you're going to enjoy these kinds of molds. And then I did one here. I've actually done two of these, and I'll bring the other one in because what I did was I changed the colour of the red. This is cranberry alcohol ink from Ranger, and this is the same ink with 3 drops of pitch black alcohol ink from Ranger. So I actually created 2 of those because I wanted to see the different shades of red, but they're really lovely and a lovely size. And get the lid off, it's got a bit underneath that stops your lid from sliding off, so there's a lip in there. I sit my little Zika deer in there because I just think it looks cute. Right, so those are the heart boxes. This one is exactly the same. It's just a paler shade of red, and you can stack them so you can see the 2 colours when you put them like that. So I did those 2, and of course I did the star, and I did not make it in red and green as my husband suggested. I just did the whole thing in 2 shades of red, but look at the detail on that. You've got that gorgeous little sort of like gemstone that you can use all on its own, or you can cast these pieces on their own because you can see where the mold finishes there. It's just really lovely. It's huge, and it's got a good sturdy hanging hook. So that one I think is just going to be a light catcher on my deck in a little bit of shade so that it doesn't fade, because I don't think alcohol inks are truly light fast. But maybe if I stuck something white under there, hang on, you would get its true colour. I've got a sheet of folded cardstock. There you go. You can just see how red that is. It's really lovely. And then I poured the darker shade of red over the lighter because I just wanted it darker. But it's like cranberry glass because it's cranberry alcohol ink that I used. Right, so I'm going to clear all this out of the way while I bring in today's die and show you that. Right, so this is the die that we're going to be using today. I've already got the other bits out of the bag already, and I'm just going to explain it. Right, this one, I would suggest that you cut 2. I would cut this one, which is the base, and then I would cut another one using the roof tiles that you can insert. So cut one plain, and then go through again and cut another one using your roof tile sections, and obviously you've then got to remove these so that you can put them on that side. And then when you've done that, cut it in half. That's what I suggest, so that you've got a nice sturdy double layered card, and you're going to pop one on top of the other. And the reason for that is these little roof tiles will flip up, so you don't want to, you know, sort of like see straight through it. You want a nice solid background. So that's going to be 2 of these and once through with this on either side. Now it comes with a gnome, and I've got my little gnome here, and I'll figure out where to put him. And then this is the, let's get the pieces, this is the box section. So you're going to need to cut one of these, and 4 of these. And then you have some brick that you can place on your chimney pot, which is actually the box. So we'll see what we're going to do with that. And this is the other dressy up hat bit of the gnome, which goes there. And as I said the other day, I'm going to use this Merry Christmas, and it also comes with the little snow caps. Now I do know that laying it down, it's going to be wider than the base, but that's okay. I can cut something that can layer onto. And then I'm also going to be using the mistletoe, and I know that the depth of this chimney pot is from here to here because that folds over to make it sturdy, and so I know that that's going to fit and dangle from the chimney pot. So I'm going to go and cut all these in the colours that I choose. I think I'm going to go pastel and be able to use some of my rhombus sequins and stuff like that. So I'll go and cut, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I cut one card base in white, and then I cut it in pink. And as I said, once you've done that, just chop it in half, and it will go, oops, turn it around like that. And then that one will go on there like that, so that when it's folded in half, you haven't got that sort of like scrunched up double thickness on the fold there. It's separated. So those need to be fastened onto there. But before you do that, you're going to need to go along and fluff up your roof tiles, just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fluff up my roof tiles and stick that on, and I'll be right back. So I've fluffed up my tiles here. As you can see, you just put your hands under them and push them up. And I've got adhesive tape here, and I've peeled it off here with just one piece left to remove. And I'm going to stick my first tile piece on. Now I'm going to stand up for this because you know what I'm like. I always get everything crooked, so I just want to match up my corners. Let's get my hands stuck in it, and that's the first piece down. And now what I'm going to do is peel the tape off here, and I will stick this piece down, and then you'll see that when the card is folded, there's no sort of like thick bunchy creased buckling up bits. So there it is with both panels fluffed up and fixed on, and now you can see where it needs to be folded. So let's do that, and you'll be able to see what I mean, that you've got a nice fold line rather than a thick bunched up bit at the top of your card. And there you have it. Now you can fold it, and it makes it sturdier because you've got 2 thicknesses of card. So that's what it looks like. And then into here is where your box will go. So I'll pop that there, and I've got my box pieces, and I've got 4 pieces which the tape will go along this edge, and they will all glue under there to make the sides of the box. This is the bottom of your box, and then for the top of my box I've used the CRZYCrafter candy stripe paper, and I'm going to glue it on top of here so that I'm going to have a candy stripe roof. Well, not roof, but chimney pot lid there. And that will be the top of my box. So I'm going to glue this down and stick these together, and I will be straight back. So I've glued on my stripe paper onto my white cardstock. It's still a little bit damp, so I don't want to bend it yet. If you have put wet glue down and you've adhered card to card and you bend it while it's wet, you will tear your top sheet. So let it completely dry. Bit humid here today, so this might take 10 or 15 minutes for me. On these 4 pieces, I've got my adhesive. I'll try and get close, and then I've trimmed it off with the scissors just to fit that shape. And there are 4 of these. So what I need to do now is to peel off and stick down. So I'm going to tilt this, if you don't mind, so that I can attempt to get it straight. And just like that, that is the first one. And I've got my doodah thing again today. I'm being very good. And I'm just going to make sure that that's stuck down, because of course what you're building is a box and you want it to be really well adhered. So that's the first one that I just showed you. I'm going to put these other 2 on and I will be back. Right, next thing to do before putting on this, which is the base of this box, is to fold it. So we're going to try and find those score lines there and go along, and we'll start by just gently folding. As I say, I've got huge amounts of humidity here at the moment. We've got a storm coming in, I think. So you've now got this, and we need to fold this one in, and I will score that so that we can bring over the other side of the box. So I'm going to take that off. Whoops. And this is where everything gets tricky for me with the camera in front of my face, and we start having a disaster. Right, I believe I've got that in the correct place, and I think that's it. So I'm going to push that, and you can tell there's humidity here. Can you see? I'm pushing and you can see the cardstock underneath. Yeah. Not everything in Florida is great. And then these bits here are to make your box more substantial. So you're going to actually bend those over and fold them in along their score line. So if you look down in there, you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going these 2 edges first, tuck that over, down to the score line and crease. And then this one, pop that one in. I'm going along there, trying to get that as straight as possible. And you can actually see the score lines, so I'm just tucking that over and pressing down. Right, you see that? You've got a nice sturdy double wall box now. And of course this is the lid that, once folded in, will sit there, and this is your base that's going to hold everything in there. So what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of glue just under there to hold those down, and I will be back. Right, so here is the base section. See if we can get a close-up. And I've pulled the tape carrier off there, and I'm just going to squeeze these in a little bit, and I'm going to put it down flat, and then my box, make sure you've got it the right way around, is just going to slot over the top, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to finagle this if anything goes wrong. So I want it down flat on the surface so that it's correct, and then I can just go inside there with my bone folder. I hope you can see in there, and just squish that down enough to make some contact, and then you should be able to just go in with a finger or two and just squeeze it flat as you rotate it. So that's the bottom on the box there. Like I say, you know, just keep going around it, but that should be quite nice and solid inside there. My next thing, of course, is going to be folding this. Now, I'm not sure if my glue is dry or not, but I'm going to test it now and I'm going to find out. I just want to gently go along and find that score line. And you don't want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Too aggressive with it at this point. So I've managed to achieve a fold there. But as I've said, you know, if your glue is still wet or damp, and it is humid here today, it can tear the fancy piece that you placed on top, which is why it's important to go in gently to begin with. So I'm just going to keep going gently along here so I'm not wasting your time while you watch me fold this, and I'll be back. Right, so I managed to fold it, and I've got my tape on the little edge flaps here, and I've got a little bit of tape just in the center reinforcing sections for this box that give it a little bit more strength. It's got the folding bits like on this one here, so it's like double thickness. So let's get this on straight. Sorry if I've gone quiet. I always do when I'm concentrating. I'm just pinching those bits up there and moving off camera so I could see exactly what I was doing. So just want to make sure that I've got them nice and straight. Tuck that piece in. Oops. Wants to stick to my finger. There. So now we've got the box top, and I've got my bits of tape here which I'm going to remove. Let's take one off, see if I can get my fingers in there. There we are. I'm going to pop that down flat while I just tuck that into there. I hope you can see that. Obviously I need to squish it back into position, but I'm going to do those and I'll be straight back. Right, so there is the box, and it's got its lid on. My little it's all right, my camera's not so good today. Pink and red candy stripe, and if you bring the card over, then let me fold that up. Whoops. And you finagle it a bit. That is basically how it goes within the roof of the card. But then you've got the apex which holds the box. If I can show you that. You see that? Obviously I haven't got that in even. And I will of course take a photograph at the end of this video, which will appear at the front of the video. So there is the sort of very large candy striped chimney pot inside of the roof there. And then the next thing that I need to do is I need to go and cut my mistletoe, my gnome and my sentiment. I'm going to do those, I'm going to add them, and I'll be straight back. Okay, so it's all finished, and what I decided to do was, because the Merry Christmas is longer than the roof line, I'm going to save that to do a slimline card next week, and instead I've used pieces of ephemera from the CRZYCrafter store that you saw in my haul video yesterday. But there I've popped the little gnome on the bottom of the chimney pot, and you've got just pink and red and candy stripey bits going on. And it does of course stand up. That's exactly what it does. I would suggest you put a little note in if you post this to anyone so they know exactly how they're supposed to use this card. Well, I do thank you very much for sticking with me today and for viewing all week, because I know there's a lot of you are huge supporters of me and I'm so grateful, and I do thank you very, very much. And tomorrow, I'm trying to think, tomorrow is actually the Aliexpress 11/11 sale, so I'll be posting lots of super hot links tomorrow to stuff that I'm going to be buying. And if you are going to shop in the sale, don't forget to start collecting the coupons for the stores that you're going to shop in. And to use those coupons, you just have to reach the amount that it states on the coupon. Like it will say $2 off 10 bucks kind of thing, making your purchase price $8. You just need to make sure that you're spending $10. So I will do lots of nice hot links tomorrow, and I'll be up with a design team haul from DIY Art Bin and hopefully a project share. And as usual, all links are below, but you have an absolutely awesome day. And once again, thank you for joining me. Bye.